Yo, welcome to the Cosmic Paradox channel. Like, subscribe, and share. Peace, 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 peace. Shout out to the notification gang. I just want to salute y'all for being the first ones here. Salute to you. If you have not subscribed to the channel, go ahead and like and subscribe to the channel. It's 11:11. First off, we want to say rest in peace to Takeoff. Our condolences to his family. From everybody over here at Cosmic Paradox and Know Thyself Universe. It's never easy when you losing a loved one, especially when you lose it like that. So, my condolences to your family. Now, it is 11:11. A lot is going on, man. A lot has been circulating in the media. Very particularly one Mr. Ye, formerly known as Kanye West, who had a few words when he ran into some paparazzi with the Shade Room. Matter of fact, let's just look at it and let's talk about it. So on today, 11/11, we got a new clip from Ye. It appears he had a lot of things that he wanted to get off his chest. Well, I won't say a lot of things. He had a few things he wanted to address in this clip. Matter of fact, we gonna look at the clip. That's what we gonna do. So it's a Shade Room exclusive because apparently this is who caught up with him. Some Shade Room people or whoever it was, they affiliated with the Shade Room. So he had some things he wanted to say. And a lot of things that he said I found to be very interesting. I'm sure a lot of you all did too. But you know what? We're going to dissect it. Let's take a look at it.
They can't scare you. They can't control you. They can't. They try to suppress you, but that's how they try to categorize
They
you.
can't control me. You get what I'm saying? They can control Shaq. They can control Charles Barkley. They can control LeBron James. They can control Jay-Z and Beyonce.
But not you, man.
But they can't control me. You
Not
see, it
you.
ain't no name I won't name.
Exactly.
It's up.
Okay. So first and foremost, he really, really doubling down. Now this is an interesting thing that's taking place. We always got to remember that at the end of the day, we don't particularly really know what's going on behind these cameras. We can only speculate. We can only discern for ourselves what we find to be true. So that's first things first, right? Now, if we're going to take what they say, if we're going to take what he's saying here, if we're going to take this directly, so let's look at and let's, break down what he's saying. So, first and foremost, we know already taking his money, threatening his deals, and all of this is not going to make him be quiet. It's not going to shut him up. That's why he says they can control Shaq, they can control Charles Barkley, they can control Jay-Z and Beyonce because there's only but so much people are going to be willing to sacrifice and give up for the truth and for the truth to the people, because we are being what he is exposing just how entrapped the culture is as a whole, the mentality. Now, granted, there is quite a few of us who are well aware of a lot of things that he has addressed and can understand where he's coming from. There's quite a few people. But he has a way of being his own enemy at times with his own mouth and communicating or miscommunicating in ways that leads to hurt feelings, due to his inability to be aware or his lack of sensitivity, should I say, to some of the things that he may be saying. It's very Gemini-ish of him, but it's genuine. It's not malicious, It's just kind of the way the energy kind of operates. So he already letting us know out the gate, taking my money is not going to make me be quiet. It might make them other people be quiet, but it's not going to make me be quiet. And see, the thing is now, he doesn't have Kim. He doesn't have that family structure. He doesn't have any of that. He might feel like he don't really have too much to lose anyway. And considering that his name is Ye, and he embodied the Jesus, that bearing the cross, that martyr's energy, But let's continue the video. Let's continue.
No, you.
You know what I'm saying? And just for Minister Farrakhan, I love you, but the way you read that, I took that as a slight. You know what I'm saying? I'm taking no disrespect from nobody. So let's get on the phone and let's talk that out. I don't care who you are. I ain't taking no slights from nobody, right? I ain't taking no slights from nobody. It's God.
So he is referring to Minister Farrakhan's did a speech. I do advise everybody to watch it. I watched it in full. I don't know why he felt slighted by Minister Farrakhan, because he was, in support of him. Maybe he didn't like the way he worded some things, or what some of these things he worded, what they may insinuate, or we are only speculating here. I'm only speculating. But, there are things that, he's able to see that we aren't able to see, that he's not able to articulate well, to build that gap in the communication. So that's why a lot of times he say things and we can't always grasp why he's saying what he's saying or where he's coming from. So there's those gaps and holes. That's how you kind of know he can't be working with no PR people. He can't be working with anybody that's trying to help clean up, his communication. He's just speaking from his heart. So he's just speaking, right? So, but anyway, that's on the NOI.org's homepage if you want to watch it. It's about an hour long, but it was good. It was good. So, let's see. Oh, is it gonna start over?
They can't scare you. They can't control you. They can't. They try to suppress you, but that's how they try to categorize
They
you.
can't control me. You get what I'm saying? They can control Shaq. They can control Charles Barkley. They can control LeBron James. They can control Jay-Z and Beyonce.
But not you, man.
But they can't control me. You
Not
see, it
you.
ain't no name I won't name.
Exactly.
It's up.
Not you.
You know what I'm saying? And just for Minister Farrakhan, I love you, but the way you read that, I took that as a slight. You know what I'm saying? I'm taking no disrespect from nobody. So let's get on the phone and let's talk that out. I don't care who you are. I ain't taking no slights from nobody. right? I ain't taking no slice from nobody. It's God. That's the only person that I serve. My mom ain't here. My mama was sacrificed.
Me too.
You understand?
Yeah. I'm Christian too.
Michael Jordan, what about him? His daddy, right? Bill Cosby, his son, right? Dr. Dre, his son. You know, out in Hollywood, a lot of people come up missing. Feels like it might be a lot of that in order to control, traumatize. They want to monetize and traumatize. And God loved me.
So now that's a lot to unpack. Now for decades, for years, there's been numerous people who've been labeled conspiracy theorists, who have stated there are Hollywood sacrifices, that these things that have occurred are means to Hollywood elitists. Now, in the past week or two, I would say over the past week now, this is the second thing that he's brought to light. Really, he's brought to light a whole lot more. But as far as things that we've considered conspiracy, as far as like having a handler, about them purposely, trying to control and utilizing, mental illness, as far as him outing the dude that was his trainer as his handler, pretty much, so to speak. So these things that a lot of people have been talking about, he being in the position that he's in, which is a very influential position, and coming out and bringing light to these things, shedding some truth, establishing that as a part of the experience. Now, it was very, very interesting. Now, he said, my mother was sacrificed. And he went on to say, Dr. Dre's son, Michael Jordan's dad, these deaths around those family members have always been suspicious. People have always kind of said, or kind of looked at it in kind of type of ways. And, as far as a means of control or manipulation in these different organizations, because let me tell you, any business, anything that's bringing billions of dollars, a $1 billion industry, has some corruption. So that's your NBA, NFL, that's your major sports league. This is your Hollywood film studios, your music, all of it, because that is a lot of people. There's a lot of very powerful people that are invested in these entities, and they reap very large profits. And these people are greedy. These people are greedy. Now, the way he kind of framed it, now we can look at this in different ways. Now, I would advise that you be completely open to all, possibilities when you dealing with information like this, because this is not really, this is what do we call the word, what's the word that I'm looking for right now? This is all pretty much speculation. But it's kind of leaving out of the speculation wheelhouse, because he's kind of saying that this is a true thing here, because he's an actual person that's involved. So in exposing this industry, he's exposing himself. He's exposing the pawn that he is within this very structure, within this very power structure, and just how little power he actually has. So for him to say this in this way, we can look at this in different ways now. We can look at this in different ways. Now we can look at this like the way he said it, because as far as in sacrificing, he says a lot of control to keep the trauma going, to monetize off of us. See, what we have to understand is the role and the position that these celebrities, they're celebrities, that they are playing in the grand scheme of things, right? In the grand scheme of things. So everything that happens within their life is on the grand stage of display. They have no sense of privacy. It's all up for grabs in the public. There are hundreds of people that feed off of their energy. And that's in a direct sense. I'm not talking about people who, fans, how they could potentially be millions, but there are still hundreds, the people directly involved with these people, that are affected directly by them, their energy, on a day-to-day basis, probably thousands within all of the people that they come into contact with. So for him to say, that she was sacrificed, these other people's family members were sacrificed in the sense of a control, is not to say, because listen to me, y'all. Listen to me, y'all. Because the deity, was truly worshipped is you. You're what's truly worshipped. So it's not about an offering to something. It's about a sacrifice of. It's like on Sandman, how they had him trapped. It's like trapping a demon. You can't move. It's really like you trapped. We all experience these traps, man. We all experience these same things. It's just that they are on a higher magnitude because they're just on the grand stage where everybody can see, because they selected for fame. Because they selected for fame. So we can look at it different ways, because you can look at it as the sacrifice in the sacrifice in itself, as in, hey, sometimes people come up missing. Sometimes suspicious things happen to people, because maybe, like I say, when billions of dollars is at play, in order to make you do what you are told to do, that's sometimes what may be repercussions or consequences that they have to deal with. That's their sacrifice. That's what they lose. It ain't by choice. It ain't necessarily by choice. And we can look at it another way. We can look at it like maybe he trolling. We can look at it like maybe he just saying everything that's considered conspiracy. Maybe he's just doing that for, I don't know, for whatever reason that could be. But you can't just, because emotionally we do want them to, we would love it if somebody in the grand stage could speak out. We would love it. We would love it. Right? We would love that. For those of us who know, for most of us who see what's going on, we love it when somebody of influence brings that type of chaos. And he's an agent of chaos at the moment. But is he an inserted form of chaos? See, that's the occult conversation. The occult conversation is looking at it for what it is, being in the middle. It could be this, it could be that. But what is this going to teach me? What is this teaching me? What is this reflecting back to me? Because everything in the world is simply a reflection of me anyway. So if this is triggering me this way, and I'm reacting to it this way. What is this teaching me about me? What does this mean for me? That's the inner way to look at it. That's the occult way to look at it. Let's finish looking at the video though.
You understand? They hit me. Gap, Adidas, all that away. Still, Forbes, who hate me, right, had to write net worth 400 million. Jesus is king. God loved me.
That's more important thing in life.
That's the thing. You know what I'm saying? And this truth is going to be heard. Y'all can't send none of y'all Meek Mills, y'all Puffies, y'all Lil Boozy, none of these names, none of these people that have to listen to y'all because they have legal. I never killed nobody, right? I'm the pussy that never killed nobody, right? But that means I can say whatever I want and not go to jail.
Now, so listen to what he's saying. Listen to what he's saying. Because the brother is very smart. The brother is very, very smart. We don't know how this whole thing is gonna play out. It's interesting. I can't lie to y'all. This is a very entertaining distraction, man. Because he's blatantly going to war. He blatantly going to war. See, Kyrie is being way more diplomatic. You know, he's being way more, he's using his words better. He's articulating, you know, he's taking a very different approach, right? But Ye is straight on their heads and he on their neck, man. He is really on their neck. I support you there, Ye. I stand with you, Ye. I do, bro. Because I mean, we know what's going on out here. But see, I don't expect people to be perfect. Cause I'm not a perfect person. I know I ain't perfect. I know I got, you know, my shortcomings. And if we all just waiting for somebody to be perfect to call out something that's going on, then man, we really gonna be waiting a real long time. If that's what it's gonna take. You know what I mean? If that's what it's gonna take. And like he said you can't send your, you know, your puffies. So he's saying keep your agents. So that's keep all your people that's happy being in their position, that don't, whether if they can't see their position or not, because it's not always people willingly going against their own. It's not willing all the time, y'all, because it's a lot of times it's manipulations off of our own traumas, off of our own, you know, things that we've dealt with. That's the manipulation. It's like they moving chess pieces, man. It's like they moving chess pieces. And if we can't get past the black and white, which is just whether it's we talking about black and white and race, whether we talking about a right or a wrong, morally or right or wrong, whatever the dual points are, because that's what the checkerboard represents. It represents the two opposites of the pole. But we are experiencing a very magical moment where we can bring the two poles to an understanding. And that's really what's happening right now, because people are addressing two polar sides of themselves still in both Kyrie and Ye. Because some is like, I want to support Kyrie, but I don't want to support Ye. So it's a very polarizing thing that's going on, and a picking sides. It's always about making you pick fucking sides. It's always about making you pick sides. It's just a mental game. It's a mental game. It's to keep you, it's to keep your soul asleep. It's these little things, so many of these little things to rock your soul back to sleep. Because a lot of people are stirring, a lot of people are waking up, but you can't force them to wake up. See, that's why these events are occurring. See, some of us already know what it is, but that's why these events are occurring, because they are like flashpoints. We're going through an eclipse season right now. So this is like when you looking at Inception, and when it was time, when it was trying to wake everybody up and they go through the kick. That's that moment. This is the kick. This is the kick. So some of us are already awake, trying to wake the others up, while we, some of us trying to wake others up while some of them are asleep, but it is time for them to wake up. And these are some of the events that gotta occur in order for them to wake up. Why? Because it's happening on the grand stage. So for different people, it's different things. Some people, it took them, depending on their age, depending on where they're in their cycle of their life. Some people got it years ago. Some people it might have been 9/11. For some people it might have been, it's just different occurrences, just different things. That's what these moments are. They're like little kicks. So more and more people are going to wake up. More and more. It just kind of is what it is. It just kind of is what it is. And and like he was saying, what he said at the end, how he was like, I never killed nobody. So you dealing with, see, it's interesting because Ye is the backpack rapper. You have all these tough guy persona rappers who, if you just thinking that mentality of bang bang go to war, so that means you would go to war with an enemy, with a true enemy. But that's not really the case because it's a persona, because it's not really a real authentic thing. It's just based on that persona. See, what we got to remember is they always have infiltrated our things and kind of flipped it against us because they've always known we were going to rise. So they did it with the Black Panthers, they did it with the gangs, and they did it with hip hop. Because whatever they promote, whatever they put the money behind, that's what's gonna be famous. That's what's gonna be popular. Murphy Lee did a really interesting interview where he was talking about, like that's the whole thing about when you on a label. They're spending money to make you famous. They're putting you in all these places. And it's not a coincidence that your fame is growing, your fans are growing, because they are putting their money into those advertising dollars to put you into the minds of the public. That's what advertising is. You're basically planting the seeds in the minds. Right? So the more your label supports you, the more budgeting dollars, marketing dollars, listen to 50 Cent, the more that's behind you, the more you're gonna sell, the more you're gonna do. Not to take away from organic, authentic talent, but it takes more than that if you're really talking about mainstream type success, right? So they spend all this money and put all this money behind you. And so when you get when that record sales, so that's they recoup. That's how they get their money back, so they claim. But it's a whole lot of things that's in those contracts that people don't understand, that they're giving up, that they are signing away. And it's because of the illusion of the money that they give you up front. So we're so poverty stricken because that's the trauma, that's the manipulation behind our trauma, one being poverty. They put all this money in front of you to take this deal, and we don't, they don't look over it, or whatever the case may be, end up in bad deals, you know, end up in debt, on the label, don't really end up with what they thought they would get out of it, just end up in bad deals. Now, some of them can work themselves out of it, can work themselves out of those bad deals and maybe make better deals and maybe get in better situations like your Jay-Z's or whatever the case may be. But that's a lot of work to have to do in something that you create and something that's yours. But when you get to the business side of understanding how it works, you can really see how there's so much that's just pitted against you for you to get snuffed out of a lot of things in those deals. So, Ye being the backpack rapper and as successful as he is, you wouldn't think this would really be the revolutionary personality type. But that's because, we kind of overthink it, because we just kind of we really most of the time looking at the violent type. But that's in his favor here though, because he don't have no legal issues. He ain't in there to hurt nobody. He don't make no music about hurt nobody. He don't ever talk about killing people. The man literally be talking about, Jesus and Christ all of the time, even if it's some exaggerated or dramatized or extreme form of it, or whatever you may want to call it. But that's who he is. So they don't have, he's not in situations where he's had to be bailed out of situations or circumstances that may have landed him in jail or in prison, like most of your rappers, like your T.I.'s, like your Meek Mills, like your Jay-Z's, like your Lil Boosie's. So he don't have those type of circumstances. So he's in a different position than a lot of those other entertainers, because the chain is tighter around their neck. The chain is tighter. So it's a different situation. So he said, don't send none of them for me. Don't send none of them for me, because like he's already said, I can't be controlled, you know. So he's prepared for it. He's already said they're gonna have to kill me. He's already stated this, man. So is he here to be the martyr? Is he the next martyr? Is because the energy has to play out. That's something that they know. That's something that they are well aware of, and that's why they cornered the hip hop market. That's why they infiltrated hip hop with the gangster rap. That's why they promoted it that way and pushed it in that direction to make it self-destructive. I.e., too, because that was our cultural grip, our roots to the culture, our roots to our youth through our music. So this is going to be very interesting to see how this whole thing plays out. But we're going to see. So is he trolling or is he exposing? Well, it depends on where you sit and how you determine the answer to that question. Because he could ultimately just be trolling, because all of this is really just a distraction from us doing our own inner work anyway, and leading us to question more things outside of ourselves and existing powers that may hold weight or leverage above us. Or he could truly be exposing and wanting to bring to light some things that's really happening, things that has really been speculated, that has been discussed, that has been shunned away. Maybe he's really shedding light on those things and wanting people to know that things are not always the way that they are expected to be perceived. And maybe we need to open another eye. Maybe both things could be true. But ultimately, you gotta always remember that it's always gonna go back to you anyway. It's always about you. Because as alchemists, we know that we can take all forms of energy, all things that's being thrown to us, and we can always transform and transmute. Stay dangerous, Chaos Warriors.